everyone. I have not done a ancestry video in forever because I've been unnecessarily busy. Anyway, since I've taken mine, my sister has taken hers, and my mother, when she was here, took hers. So I wanted to show you guys the difference between mine and my sister and mine and my mom's, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that at this present moment. So, my sister, basically, a lot of our DNA was the same. Difference was that she had 1% Native American, and she had less African American than I had, and it was something else. I really can't remember. And Ancestries is not letting me log into my account. My mother had, my mom was like 90 something percent African American. So she didn't have, I mean, it might have been like one or two um, difference. But other than that, it was basically the same. So because my sister and I have two different fathers, that's where the difference came in. I was like, she had Native American, I had West Asia, and it was some other things that were different. It did say that we shared a mother, but it also said that we were probably like close relatives or like first cousins, and I'm just like, we can't be first cousins because we are sisters because we share the same mother. Um, my sister DNA did say that she has a sibling that is not related to my mom. It didn't say it was a sibling, but it did say it was like a close relative, and because the percentage, that person percentage was higher than mine, so we just assumed that it is a sibling and not a father. I have talked to a few cousins, so through Ancestries, I have talked to two on the phone and one through email, and we have not quite figured out the relation, well, how we're related, because my great grandmother mother had 11 kids, and then my great grandmother only had 3 kids. So a lot of the cousins is like third or fourth cousins. Well, the cousins that I've talked to is like third and fourth cousins, and which makes them my mom like second cousin. So I asked my mom, did she know that any of the names sound familiar? Some of them she did, some of them she had never heard of before. But the one cousin, my mom is like, her mother is so and so, and I talked to my cousin, and the cousin's like, my mother name is this, and I found out some information about this particular cousin, and basically it looks like my mother is right, and it could just be one of those situations where her birth mother may have died and her aunt may have took her in under as a kid. I have not told her that because another thing is that she said that her father name was one name, but when I looked it up, it was a totally different name. And I'm not about um, being a bearer of bad news when it comes down to finding your family, because who knows, maybe the information that I have or discovered is not necessarily correct. We do know that a lot of the women in our family would just pick up whoever last name that they were dating, and that can be an issue when you are trying to find somebody and the names are not just adding up, or you're like, well, why does this person keep coming up or whatever. Another thing is that marriages. It's this one lady in my family. She got married like 3 times, and the marriages were only like 4 or 5 years, and then they're divorced, and then she married somebody else. So you'll also get the women that have 3 different married last names, and that can be a bit much because you don't know when they died. You don't know what last name they died with. You don't know if they. It's just so much you don't know when you are dealing with Ancestry's DNA and you're trying to build your family tree. Back in these days that I'm talking about, you had a lot of what is it called? Family members marrying family members. So you'll have like 2 cousins marrying each other, and because that has happened in my family also. So this journey has been real interesting. Another thing that has happened is I found my dad's side of the family, which is basically my grandfather. I found his side of the family. That's going to be a different video. But if you are looking for your family, if you're done a ancestry DNA, you will get to like a lot of brick walls because the constant last name changing, they're moving. If your family was like in Macon, Twiggs County, Georgia, something like that, it was a fire. I'm not sure when the fire was, but it burnt a lot of the information. So I think some of that had happened to my family too. Like a lot of records and stuff don't exist. So you're just gonna have to like basically like keep working at it and don't give up. Like we found some information off of my great grandmother's obituary, and we kind of worked off of that. But again, we did come to roadblocks. I even went back to Detroit to figure out who was living with my great grandmother and when they was living with my great grandmother. But because the census is not out in Michigan for the 1950s, that was an issue too. So it's information out there, but it's not information out there. I have subscribed to some of the subscriptions through Ancestries, but I canceled them because I didn't benefit from any of it. Like, because it's basically like my family was, you can find them. We can find some of them from like the 18, I want to say like the 1860s, all the way to like the 1910s. And that's when like my great grandmother is around. And then we know that they were still in Macon between 1910 and the 30s. And then it's like the 40s, 50s. It's just kind of like we don't know they left Georgia to come to Detroit or anything like that. So it's a lot of stuff that you should take into consideration when you're doing this. It's going to be a lot of discouraging and disappointment because you're going to be messaging family and they're not going to be responding back, or you message them and they're not going to want to basically be bothered, which irks me because I feel like if you took this ancestries, you are not only are you looking for family, but you are trying to figure out what you're mixed with, like what your genetic makeup is. So you're going to deal with those kind of people, and don't get upset. You're just going to have to let them be. This one relative, that's another video, but I found her and she was basically kind of like ignoring me. So I had to tell her, like, yes, you don't know me, but I'm not coming to you. I'm not asking you for no money. I'm just asking you some questions, and that was it. And never heard from her again. But that's going to be another video. In the meantime, I'm going to get out of here because I need to post some other stuff. But if you have questions or concerns or comments, Don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.